Reverend Lynn, LaBorde, coming to you live. Fell asleep on wet hair, so I'm a bit disheveled this morning. Lesson 66, coming live with the Course in Miracles lessons. Going to be channeling Mary Magdalene. And today we are on lesson 66. Not sure where to look anymore. Whether to look straight ahead, whether to look up at the camera, whether to look down. I'll figure it out. Lesson 66. My happiness and my function are one. You have surely noticed an emphasis throughout the recent lessons on the connection between fulfilling your function and achieving happiness. This is because you do not really see the connection. Yet there is more than just a connection between them. They are the same thing. Their forms are different, but their content is completely one. The ego does constant battle with the Holy Spirit on the fundamental question of what your function is. So does it do battle with the Holy Spirit about what your happiness is. It's not a two-way battle. The ego attacks and the Holy Spirit does not respond. He knows what your function is. He knows that it is your happiness. Today we will try to go past this wholly meaningless battle and arrive at the truth about your function. We will not engage in ceaseless arguments about what it is. We will not become hopelessly involved in defining happiness and determining the means for achieving it. We will not indulge the ego by listening to its attacks on truth. We will merely be glad when we can find out what truth is. Our longer practice period today has as its purpose your acceptance of the fact that not only is there a very real connection between the function God gave you and your happiness, but that they are actually identical. God gives you only happiness, therefore the function He gave you must be happiness, even if it appears to be different. Today's exercises are an attempt to go beyond these differences in appearance and recognize a common content where it exists in truth. Begin the 10 to 15 minutes practice periods by reviewing these thoughts. God gives me only happiness. He has given my function to me. Therefore, my function must be happiness. Try to see the logic in this sequence, even if you do not yet accept the conclusion. It is only if the premises are wrong that the conclusion must be false. Let us then think about the premises for a while as we are practicing. The first is that God gives you only happiness. This could be false, of course, but in order for it to be false, it is necessary to define God as something that He is not. Love cannot give evil, and what is not happiness is evil. God cannot give what He does not have, and He cannot have what He is not. Unless God gives you only happiness, He must be evil. And it is this definition of Him which you are believing if you do not accept the first premise. The second premise is that God has given you your function. You have seen that there are only two parts of your mind. One is ruled by ego and is made up of illusions. The other is the home of the Holy Spirit, where truth abides. There are no other guides but these to choose between, and no other outcomes possible as a result of your choice, but the fear which the ego always engenders and the love which the Holy Spirit always offers to replace it. Thus it must be that your function is established by God through His voice in you, or it is made by the ego, which you have made to replace Him. Which is true. Unless God gave your function to you, it must be the gift of the ego. Does the ego really have gifts to give, being itself an illusion and offering only the illusion of gifts? Think about this during the longer practice period today. Think also about the many forms the illusion of your function has taken in your mind, and the many ways in which you have tried to find salvation under the ego's guidance. Did you find it? Were you happy? Did they bring peace? We will need great honesty today. Remember the outcomes fairly, and consider also whether it was ever reasonable to expect happiness from anything the ego has ever proposed. Yet it is the only alternative to the Holy Spirit's voice. You will listen to madness or hear the truth. Try to make this choice as you think about the premises on which our conclusions rest. We can share in this conclusion, but in no other, for God Himself shares it with us. Today's idea is another giant stride in the perception of the same as the same and the different as different. On one side stands illusions. All truth stands on the other. Let us try today to realize that only the truth is true. In the shorter periods, which would be particularly helpful if undertaken twice an hour today, this form of application is suggested. My happiness and my function are one, because God has given me both. It will not take more than a minute, and probably less, to repeat these words slowly and think about them as you say them. Lesson 66. My happiness and my function are one. All right, let's hear what our beloved Magdalene has to say about this. Greetings, beloved ones. As you come to see that you, as a holy being, as a divine being, have the choice at each and every instance of your existence to choose between the mind of God, which is the pathway to happiness, and the egoic mind, which chooses everything else. You will come to rest with the peace and the knowledge and the wisdom and the understanding that ultimately you can do only one thing, which is but to love. Everything else that you think is an option, every conversation that you have within your mind, every conversation that you have with another, where there is blame and there is guilt and there is judgment, all of this aids in the furthering of the egoic dynamic that each being possesses. Allow yourself, beloveds, instead to turn to love, to turn to the will of God that brings you grace, that brings you peace, that brings you home to yourself. If you truly understood that you have one function, and that function is happiness, would you indeed allow yourself to choose happiness at all times? If you truly understood that your happiness was not only possible, but that it was your responsibility and it was a gift that was given to you by God, would you choose it? Would you claim it as your own? Would you allow yourself to go within your heart and say, any place that I have believed myself to be less than happy has been a choice that I have made? Can you allow yourself, beloved ones, to make a different choice? To make the choice for love, for peace, for happiness, for truth? Understand, beloveds, that the more that this is practiced, the more that this is repeated, you will then begin to seek out what it is that indeed makes you happy, what it is indeed that puts a smile upon your face, what it is indeed that connects you deeply to the love that you have within. Then that love becomes congruent, and the love that is within is expressed without, in all interactions, in all conversations. You become whole unto yourself. You become that which God has created. This is indeed an act of self-responsibility that you are more than capable of, beloved ones. For it is your God-given divine birthright to live within this realm of happiness, to let go of anything and everything that you have ever used to distract you from the truth of you. As creator beings, beloved ones, You are being brought to the edge of your own divinity and your own power by allowing yourself to go within and say, what is the truth of me? And when you find that the truth of you is the happiness and the joy, the peace which is on every level of existence, the peace that lives in you, as you. When you allow yourselves to fully remember, and it indeed is an act of allowance, beloved ones, of allowing yourself to say, ah, yes, I am as God created me, and God created me to be a being that is filled with love and joy, happiness and peace and truth. And then when you begin to have interactions, both with yourself as well as those beings seemingly outside of you that are filled with this same truth and love and joy, peace and happiness, you will come to see that you are indeed as God created you, and that is your function. So let your function and your happiness be one and the same, beloveds. Let your hearts be filled with joy. Let your light carry you forth into the darkness, the shadow that you yourself have brought. Let there be a reconciliation, beloved ones. And let you remember the places where you have forgotten your own destiny, places where you have forgotten your own joy, the places where you have forgotten your own truth. And every time that you repeat this phrase, understand that you are dropping clear water into the vessel that has been filled with the dirt and the muck and the mire of the ego that says that war is an option, that fighting is an option, that holding resentments is an option. It is not, beloved ones. What is an option is the truth of you. It is the only option. And you will indeed come to it. You will indeed find what it is that you are seeking. But the place to seek is within, beloveds. For there is nothing external to you that you have given value to that will provide you with the love and the happiness that can be sought and found only within your own heart and your own beingness. Our blessings are upon you and with you always. And all you need do, beloved ones, is call to us for assistance. We can help point you in the correct direction for your own salvation and your own happiness and your own truth. We are here to assist you and guide you on your journey back to love. For this is all truly as a return to love. For love is the only truth that abides. So we grant to you today, beloveds, our blessings for you to continue in this journey, to allow light and love to guide your path and to bring yourself back to your function as a creation of love. We love you mightily, and we will speak with you again. Hi, Marianne. You are so welcome. See you all for those who join us on our morning meditations. If anyone else would like to join us, the link is going to be below. And you're welcome to come. It's 9 a.m. You're welcome, Ginny. It's 9 a.m. Eastern. And what we do is we get together. We socialize for a bit. We go into meditation. I channel Jesus during this platform. And then we read from this magnificent book, The Way of Mastery, which is more channeled material that came in from Yeshua years ago. Yeshua was his name, his birth name, being also known as Jesus. And there are 3 books in this series. The first is The Way of the Heart. And we're reviewing the lessons. There are 12 lessons a year, and there are 3 books. So this is a 3-year journey that we're upon. So if you'd like to come and join us, please do. As I said, we're going to start putting the link for the morning meditation inside of the notes on the video below. Wishing you all a gorgeous day. Much love from Virginia. See you guys tomorrow.